Well, good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m. It is March 27th, 2023. And very shortly, I will be calling the meeting to order, but not quite yet because we were in practice session. And I think it takes a moment for all of the attendees to join. So as we see them populating the attendee column on our special panelist view, we'll just ask everyone to please be patient, and we will soon get started on our candidate presentations. So sit tight. And this is being recorded. I think Zoom told everyone, but for obvious reasons, we want a recording of this so that this will be a resource for our stakeholders. Okay, I think we have gotten to, well, I still see attendees filing in, so we'll give it another minute or two. The mysteries of Zoom. 3 years into the pandemic, it still has tricks up its sleeve. All right. Okay. So it's 6:01. The attendee flow seems to have slowed down a little bit. So again, my name is Conrad Starr, president of the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. The Monday, March 23rd, 2023 special meeting of the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council is now in session. This is a meeting where we will not be taking up any business, meaning there will be no votes. There will be the opportunity for general public comment, but no public comment on any of the items because there are no votes, and that's the deal. The purpose of this meeting is what we traditionally called a candidate forum. We use the language candidate presentations tonight because we won't be asking any questions. We're allowing all of our candidates who are present to introduce themselves. We are enforcing a hard 2-minute rule on all candidates and expressing our gratitude to candidates who can keep it to a minute or thereabouts. And so hopefully this will be a relatively painless experience, perhaps enlightening and fun for all of us. And as I mentioned previously, this is being recorded, and we will place this recording onto our website homepage so that you can point out everything that we said wrong, or decide which candidate you wish to vote for. Now, I am running unopposed for my seat, so that means I gain no particular advantage in chairing this meeting. I hope there is no objection to my continuing to do so for the duration of tonight. And I don't see any pitchforks or raised fists right now. So I'm assuming that that is okay with everybody. And I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I forgot to do that. Great. 2 hours. We shouldn't need all of that. So it also came to my attention, well, looking at your agenda, hopefully you've taken a look at it. It's at greaterwilshire.org in the agenda section. Looking at your agenda, you see the order of the candidates, and that is in the order of areas, which it took me about 4 years to realize are actually alphabetical by the name of the area, go figure. And then after that, we have our 6 special interest categories. I think we have an opportunity. Oh, we do. Okay, good. We have our election committee chairperson's report. So Jen, hopefully you can explain how some of that works, not to put you on the spot. We may find that some individuals have not been able to join until a little bit later in the meeting. So if they miss their opportunity at the end, once we've made it through the agenda, we are going to call for anyone who was missed and would like to make a statement. And we did receive a special request with some extenuating circumstances involving somebody needing to cover for someone else who was attacked this evening, to put one of the categories early, and that is the business category. So we have 2 candidates who will be present for business. And again, I'm just asking informally if there's any huge objection to our taking up the business category first. And I know I don't see everyone, but I don't see any shaking heads, no pitchforks. So we will go ahead and do that. But otherwise, we're going to take it up in order. And again, if somebody joins us late, they can still make their statement. So we're going to take roll call as a formality. This is an official meeting of the board. If we don't achieve quorum, that's okay, because these are all just presentations and no action will be taken and no questions will be asked. So with that, I will introduce our secretary, Jennifer DeVore, and ask her to please take the roll of the board.
Hang on 1 second. Let me pull up my My list.
And while she's doing that, happy Cesar Chavez Day, everybody.
All right. Owen Smith.
Owen Smith here.
Jeff Carpenter.
Jeff Carpenter here.
Stephanie Lee. Jennifer DeVore here. Kathy Roberts. Charles Datry.
Here.
Jessica Harvey.
He's here, but muted.
I see her. Yeah, right. Tess Page.
Present.
Patty Carroll. She said she was going to be late. So she'll be here shortly. Conrad Starr.
Conrad Starr present.
John Gresham. Gary Gilbert.
Gary Gilbert present.
Bo Lloyd. Brian Curran. Tommy Atley. John Winther. Scott Apple. Benny Rosenberg.
Here.
And Cindy Shavato.
Cindy Shavato here.
Jen, I think you missed Tommy Atley, who's here.
I did call him.
I believe
Sorry,
he-
I joined late. My bad.
All right.
And so just for the record, do we have a quorum or not?
We do not have a quorum, but I don't
Okay.
think we need one for this meeting.
All right. We are also going to provide this recording to our minutes writer so he can dignify this with minutes to be placed on our website. So perhaps we will achieve quorum in a few minutes, but that will not prevent us from hearing general public comment on non-agenda items. So any member of the public wishing to speak to something that is within our subject matter jurisdiction, but is not on tonight's agenda, may raise their hand now and speak for up to 2 minutes. And we won't be able to engage in any back and forth with you, especially because we do not have a quorum right now. So Charles, our vice president, as is normally the case, will moderate the general public comment queue, please.
Certainly. We have one hand raised in the attendees. Kathy Roberts. I think
And
this is
I
just.
clicked allow to talk. Yeah, I think we know what that's about. I think Kathy needs to be promoted to a panelist.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Is that the Kathy Roberts who serves on the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council currently?
Yes.
Great. Okay, we will promote you, Kathy. Thank you for joining. And great. All right. So I don't see any other hands raised. So with that, we will close general public comment on non-agenda items, and we will move into section 3, ad hoc election committee chairperson's report and candidate presentations. Jen DeVore.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who was here, who has volunteered to be a candidate for the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. It is not paid. It is a lot of work, but it is really interesting, and I think it's really important. I think it's all of you are willing to stand up for your community, make your community's voice heard, and weigh in on really important issues like land use and lots of other issues that affect all of our lives. So I just really wanted to say thank you to everyone who is here and who has volunteered.
And Jen, would you mind explaining just briefly how the alternates work in terms of
Sure.
candidates receiving votes, et cetera,
Yeah.
because that may not be clear to everyone.
So after the votes are all tallied, the person who gets the most votes is going to be sworn in as the board seat holder. And then the person who gets the second most votes will be sworn in as that seat holder's alternate. And as you all know, lots of things happen in lives, and we often promote alternates to the board throughout the 2 years of the term. And we're super grateful to have people in those roles. So that's how it works.
Great. All right. So not wishing to take any more time with our introductions, let's go straight to it. So as I mentioned, we're going to take the business candidates up first, but otherwise it will be as you see in your agenda. We had a special request and didn't hear any opposition to taking up the business candidates first, so that we could hear the two business
And
candidates who are present tonight. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I will call when it's been 1 minute, and I'll call when it's been 2 minutes for each candidate. And I'd also request that everyone turn their sound to mute unless you are speaking. I think it's in speaker view, so hopefully only the person who's speaking will be seen by attendees and will be seen on the video later on, which will be posted to the website.
Great. And so if you are seeing the gallery view, and I'm speaking to those attendees who are not panelists, if you're seeing gallery view right now, please raise your hand. I just want to get a sense of whether it's set up as we wished for it to be. And I don't see a bunch of hands going up right now, so I think it's good. That'll make it much easier when we put this on our YouTube channel and then on our website. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to go straight to the business candidates and in alphabetical order. And I will call for the candidates who we know are not present, but just so that we are not accused of skipping over anybody. So the first business candidate in alphabetical order is Romy Courtier. And Jen, do you have your clock ready? Great. So Romy, you want to test your audio and then we'll let you know. You can let us know when you're ready to start.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I have a one page that I wrote, so I will just read that.
Great. Jen, you want to go ahead and start? You're the first one, so we got to make sure we have our technology all
Go for it.
working correctly. Okay,
So-
great. Please
Hi.
proceed.
Hi, I'm Romy Courtier, and I'm running for the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council as the business representative because I believe in our neighborhood. I've owned Romy Courtier Design, a boutique hair salon and art gallery, for over 22 years. As you all know, we've seen a lot of changes in our neighborhood during the last 3 years, and not for the better. I believe we need a stronger coalition of small business owners, particularly north of Beverly Boulevard. And as a Larchmont-owned business, I have not felt included in the decisions that affect my business, such as parking restrictions, lighting in the name of safety, and how to deal with homelessness. When it comes to networking with other locally owned businesses, there have not been any organized events or even access to those owners via email. I believe there's a huge opportunity to unite those businesses in the way that raises community awareness and leverages that access to benefit the businesses as a whole. The Larchmont Boulevard Association is a major asset to our neighborhood. However, I believe it can do better. It is primarily focused on promoting businesses in the village proper, while rarely including those of us on Upper Larchmont, with the exception of asking us to write a check for the annual dues. I understand these positions are completely voluntary, and most small business owners like myself are often working long hours. But I believe there's a huge untapped resource at our fingertips by reaching out to and including more small business owners in the decisions that affect all of us. I have no previous experience with the Neighborhood Council, but I did serve as president of the 1550 Laurel Homeowners Association for 7 of the 8 years that I was on the board. Consistency and steadfastness are the strengths that I'd like to bring to the council, as well as a fresh perspective. I'm also well-traveled, studied interior design, art history, and history of the built environment at UCLA. I'm a certified feng shui consultant in the Compass School discipline. And as an entrepreneur, I've renovated several mid-century homes in Palm Springs and also produced a TV pilot called Artful Living, aimed at promoting the history of design throughout the 20th century. You can see my design portfolio at romycourtier.com and my hair salon and art gallery at romycourtierdesign.com. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, next up is Michael Knowles. Let's get a sound check from Michael.
Check 1, 2.
Okay, Michael, we can hear you. Jen, are you
Excellent.
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Michael, please proceed.
Well, thank you. Romy, that was impressive. I might vote for you. I am at my karate studio, so I apologize for any noise, extra noise that's happening out there, people screaming and yelling. My name is Michael Knowles. I live in Larchmont Village. My business is, I think it's considered Koreatown District, CD 13. We've been here in my karate studio for about 7 years. I've lived in the neighborhood for about 12 years. No, it's 11 actually. April will be 11 years. My son's going to be 11 years old. So I decided to run because I wanted to get more involved with the local politics and help solve problems, help our community be better. But I felt like I needed to understand them from the inside better, why things aren't getting better. And I felt like if I got involved more, being in a position maybe that encouraged me to attend all the meetings as an actual candidate might make me put it on my schedule and get there. I've had that intention as a neighborhood person to attend meetings, but as we all know, sometimes life gets busy and doesn't allow us to do what we want. So I felt if I ran for as a candidate and I was on the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council, it would encourage me to be there at the meetings, really listen to everything that's happening and understand where I can be of service and help to the community. So that's why I decided to get involved and put my name in the hat. This throw my name in the ring. Is that the phrase? To throw my name in the ring and see, throw my hat in the ring. I think that's the phrase, and see if I can help. So thank you for your time, and I hope I get your vote.
Our next candidate is John Winther. And I just want to make sure that John is not present. And I don't see any hands raised. I don't hear any voices. So we will move on. And so we're going to go back to what should be page 2 on your agenda. And that is our geographic area 1 Brookside. We have one candidate, Owen Smith. And Owen, we already heard your mic. It sounds good. So please proceed when you are ready.
Good, thank you. My name is Owen Smith. I'm a World War II and a Korean War veteran. I'm married 74 years, have 3 children. I moved into the Wilshire area in 1962 and in what is now Brookside in the late 70s. I'm a retired painting and drywall contractor. I moved to California in 1952 after I got out of the Navy. I served as president of the Brookside Homeowners Association for approximately 30 years and president of GWNC for 6 years. I am currently a director of Geographic Area 1, and I ask that you vote to re-elect me. Thank you.
Our next candidate is from Geographic Area 2, Citrus Square, and that is Jeffrey Carpenter. And Jeff, as soon as you're ready, you can start.
Well, good evening. I am Jeff Carpenter, and I'm running for re-election to represent Area 2, or Citrus Square, as we call it, the neighborhood between Beverly and 3rd Street, running east from La Brea to Citrus. My priorities are going to continue to include street tree protection and reforestation, along with continuing efforts to restrain some disruptive, inappropriate neighborhood development. My greatest concern is the lack of engagement in my neighborhood, particularly from my apartment and business stakeholders, and I would hope to improve upon that in the time ahead, and I will yield back my time.
Our next candidate is Geographic Area 3. We have one candidate, Selene Betancourt, and I believe she will not be joining us tonight. And seeing no raised hands, we will move on. Next up, Geographic Area 4, Fremont Place, Mark McQueen. And Mark, let's get, okay, it sounds like we can hear you. So whenever you're ready, you can start.
Let me start by saying, and this will be within my minute, Owen, I look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you for your service, sir, and appreciate hearing more about your experiences. But that aside, with the new year, I was thinking about ways to get involved in my community, and this opportunity presented itself. I'm Mark McQueen. I've been living in the neighborhood with my wife, Monica Shabaznia, for 3 years. So I imagine I'll be a relative newbie with maybe some new perspectives, but looking forward to learning a lot about the neighborhood, both from you all as well as from the community as I get out and having conversations with folks. We're fortunate to live where we live, and I'd like the opportunity to represent our neighborhood by being a voice for our community on the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. Though a neighbor in the community, I'm an outsider of the city politics. I'm curious to learn and do more to help guide decisions that are made that impact our community. I'm cautiously optimistic that the new mayor is making the right moves and helping with homelessness, which impacts our neighborhood periodically. Crime is of concern to me. We've had a number of catalytic converter thefts in our neighborhood, as well as graffiti in our park. And I look forward to learning more about what is being done and influencing policy decisions that will reduce or eliminate crime in our neighborhood. So thank you for the opportunity.
Next, we have geographic area 5. There are 2 candidates. I'm sorry, geographic area 5, Hancock Park. There are 2 candidates. First up alphabetically is Jennifer DeVore. And Jen, I am doing the timer for you, so I'll let you know if you go over. Please start when you're ready.
Well, my name is Jennifer DeVore. I am a longtime resident of Hancock Park. I've been here for a little more than 26 years and also a longtime community volunteer. I've been on the Hancock Park Homeowners Association for probably about 20 of the years I've lived here, and I've served as secretary for most of those, and I continue to do so. I've worked with the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council for about 6 years, first as alternate. In the last 2 years, I've been the secretary of the board. My former life, I worked at the Los Angeles Times as director of marketing until I had 3 young boys who required a little bit more of my attention. And since then, I've done tons of community activism and volunteering. I've chaired auctions and fundraising drives and other nonprofit work. I've been on the boards of the EBEL, the Yale Women's Council, and I also serve as a docent at the Autry Museum. I have a degree in American Studies and an MBA from UCLA. I've really enjoyed being on the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. I think it matters. And I really love working with all of you community-minded people. It's a joy.
Next up is for the same seat, geographic area 5, Hancock Park, and it's David Trainer. And David, as soon as you're ready, you can begin.
Hi, my name is David Trainer, and I'm currently on the Land Use Committee, and I'm the alternate to Jen DeVore in Area 5. And I am frankly running for alternate. It is as clear from the preceding remarks. You know, Jen is smart, accomplished, dedicated, does an amazing job for Hancock Park and for the neighborhood altogether. So, but as she said at the beginning too, it's good to have backup. So I am running to be Jen's backup. But beyond that, I think what's interesting about land use and the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council generally is there's changes afoot in the city. Some of it we're generating, some of it is being generated up to us. And the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council is an opportunity to participate in that change process and to make it work for the city at large, but make it work for us. And so that's what I would like to continue to do, but as Jen's alternate. I guess what that means is that somebody has to vote for me. So 1 or 2 of you should vote for me, but everybody who votes for Jen, you have my blessing. Thank you.
Next is geographic area 6, La Brea Hancock. We have 1 candidate, Sixto J. Cecilia. Sixto, are you with us?
Hello, it's me up here.
All right, as soon as you're ready, you sound good. Please proceed.
Okay, since I'm running unopposed, I'll probably be way under a minute. I've been living in the La Brea Hancock, our neighborhood area since 1993. So it's going to be 1994. It's going to be 29 years, 30 years next year. I've lived in, the whole Miracle Mile area since '87, in Los Angeles since 1967. So I very much love the area that we live in. But again, I see so many changes that are actually, I don't think they're very productive for what's going on in the city. There's so many problems that, we all know what they are. I don't have to go into them, but I'm glad that I'm able to express my voice at in a larger scope. So I'm really excited to see what's going on in all the neighborhoods and how we think alike and how we don't think alike and how we can come together and just make one big, beautiful Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Association. Thank you.
Next up, we have geographic area 7, Larchmont Village, and there are 2 candidates. So in alphabetical order, we will first call on Vincent Cox. Vincent, are you with us this evening?
Yes, Conrad.
Okay, we can hear you, Vincent. So as soon as you're ready.
Great. I've been a resident of the neighborhood since 1985, and in 1988, I was one of the founders of the Larchmont Village Neighborhood Association. So I've been very active in local community affairs in that regard. And I was president of the Larchmont Village Neighborhood Association for about 10 years until I was able to achieve my greatest accomplishment, which was to help to recruit Charles Datry to come to the board of the LVNA, and he has taken over the reins with great skill and success. So I'm also one of these people who is hoping to run as an alternate. I support Charlie's candidacy strongly, but I hope to be a backstop. And we have similar views about our neighborhood and about Los Angeles, and we hope to contribute to the quality of life for the people in our area and all of our neighbors throughout this district. So thank you very much.
And next up is Charles Datry. And Charles, as soon as you're ready to go.
Hello, how do I sound? You can hear me all right?
You sound good.
Okay, hi everybody. As you've been introduced, I'm Charles Datry, and I'm running again for the Neighborhood Council, where I've been lucky to serve several terms. I'm currently the representative from Larchmont Village and as well vice president on the board. The thing about living in Larchmont Village, where I moved in late 1998, is that I was lucky to be able to learn about a lot of the issues that have come to the fore. We're a mixed neighborhood, more so than some of our neighbors, in the sense that we have a majority of single-family homes, but we have a vibrant commercial area, which runs from Beverly north to Melrose on Larchmont Boulevard, as well as on Melrose. So liquor licenses and commercial businesses and those kind of subjects come up. Additionally, we were targeted decades ago, before I moved in, by the city of LA in our Northeast area for multifamily housing. So we've dealt with the issues of multifamily and R3 type housing for a long time. And it's a very complicated thing, balancing the various interests, all of whom have legitimate points of view, so that it works best for everyone here. As I think Vince mentioned, quality of life is really important, but it touches a lot of different subjects, from crime to traffic to development, to what kind of development, to safety for the children and for the other residents of the area, all of which we're able to focus as. And perhaps, the most important thing is that over time you get the knowledge to make the sprawling, kind of unwieldy beast that is the Los Angeles city government work a little bit better for our fellow residents when they have a problem. I know, and I'll wrap up there. Again, it's really about, making the government resources that are there to help each of us work best for our people. Thank you.
And next up, we have Geographic Area 8, Melrose. And the first candidate alphabetically is Craig Au. Craig, are you with us? And I don't hear Craig, and I don't see a hand raised, so we will move to Jessica Harvey. Jessica.
Hey, Conrad, thank you.
Hi.
It's going to be a hard act to follow Charles. I mean, he said all of the right things, and I think that's why we are all here tonight, because I too, like many of you, met my former representative, Philip Farah, and he was just a resource for me when I had issues going through in the neighborhood. And when I found out that he was resigning from his post, I was like, no, our neighborhood needs to have a voice. So I felt the need to, volunteer my time so I could ensure that Melrose has a voice and it's heard. And some of those things that fall in line with me are not only the homelessness and crime, those are big issues, but also things like sustainability, the 15-minute city. We really, really need to get into that, because we all deserve to live and work in a place that functions for us, like Charles said. And if I'm granted the opportunity to serve as your Melrose representative, I would be a proponent for that, but also for preservation and restoration of our city and the culture that makes it unique. So while I like the 15-minute city, I don't want to see, buildings or homes torn down in our neighborhoods to build boxes for people. So that way we can, just force everybody in, and then our neighborhood just deteriorates. So I've, taken on those steps to move forward. And here I am asking you all if you could vote me in for your next Area 8 Melrose rep.
I'm going to take a moment to remind everyone how to raise their hand if they are calling in, and that is *9. Just in case we have a candidate who used the telephone to access this meeting, they would dial *9 to raise their hand. So I'll just call once more for Craig out in case he happened to be calling in. And I don't see any raised hands. So let's go to the next candidate for geographic area 8 Melrose, and that is Jason Wood. Jason, are you with us this evening? Okay, I don't see any raised hands, so we're going to move on. Next up, geographic area 9, Oakwood, Maplewood, St. Andrews, and there are 2 candidates. And first, alphabetically, is Alex Nava. Alex, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please start whenever you like.
My name is Alex Nava. I am running to be an alternate on geographic area 9. I fully support Tessa's candidacy. I just firmly believe in civic involvement and being of service. So I hope to be of service however I can. And I'm a new resident. I'm a nurse by trade, and I hope to help however I can. Thank you.
Next is Tess Page. Tess. As soon
Hello.
as you're ready.
Hello, all. I'm Tess Page. Great being with you guys this Cesar Chavez evening. I've been a resident of the Greater Wilshire neighborhood for about 8 years. I'm located in one of those areas with a bunch of slashes, as you guys can see. It's like East Larchmont, Koreatown, Southeast Hollywood, and a lot of times the issues that impact us aren't really brought to the forefront. So I really want to advocate for us. I'm very easy to reach, very active. I do have some experience. I'm currently on the board representing the area, and I'm asking everyone to re-elect me. I'm very excited to have the support of Alex. And yeah, you might catch me walking around the neighborhood with my cool little white boxer. You can feel free to stop and talk to me. Some of the issues that are important to me, housing stability for renters, safety, and overall sustainability. Currently, I work in the field of transportation electrification. And yeah, don't be a stranger. Definitely, I'm around. If there's something that concerns you, feel free to reach out, and I am here to advocate for you.
Next, we have geographic area 10, Ridgewood, Wilton, St. Andrews Square. And Patty, let's get a sound check for you since you're just joining us.
Yeah, I am on, but I cannot turn my camera on, so I don't know what's happening.
Let's see if we can. I don't know that we can do anything about that. So if you'd like to rejoin, we can take you up at the end of the meeting, or you can proceed right now without video.
Oh, wait, here, start my video. Let's see. Will it work? Nope. Do you want me just to read my thing, or?
I tried to send you something that said that you could start your video. I'm not sure why it's not working.
Patty, if you'd like to troubleshoot, and then when we get to the end of the list, we'll call on you again. Would that work for you?
Sounds
okay,
cool.
Great. You may need to rejoin from a different device if it doesn't have the updated Zoom. Okay, so
thanks.
we'll move on to Sycamore Square. So Charles, will you take over as chair while I give my statement?
Yes, Conrad, sorry, I was listening muted. So yes, I'm happy to.
Okay, thank you. So
I simply, since Conrad, you're running unopposed, I will call on you, Conrad Starr.
My name is Conrad Starr, and I'm asking for your vote for the Sycamore Square seat. I've lived in the apartment you see behind me in Sycamore Square for more than 27 years. I grew up in Pasadena at a time and in a place where being a neighbor was really important. As a kid, it meant freedom to roam and safety and knowing the folks who lived around us. And as I got older, it was my neighbors who gave me my first paying jobs. And throughout, neighbors were a special sort, not always friends, not exactly family, but sharing some of those qualities of friends and a family. I had the privilege of serving for 5 years on the Sycamore Square Neighborhood Association, during which time I met and worked directly with my council members and their staff, learning quite a bit in that time. I helped reach agreements between the neighborhood and LA Metro and Bevmo and the All Season Brewing Company and the old Firestone building and many others. And when rezoning came up, I'm proud that the city adopted the same R1 zoning that the neighborhood came to support. While serving as the Neighborhood Association president, it was my job to bring our official position to the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council for its support. And I have learned how crucial it can be to have that support communicated through to the city. I'm a little sad that the Neighborhood Association is currently on hiatus. I'm eager to help get those wheels turning again. But in the meantime, and in the last few months, we've taken up Sycamore Square concerns in our quality of life committee, in our land use, and in our transportation committees. In short, I love my neighborhood, and with your vote, I will continue to represent it faithfully, and I am always looking for partners in this effort. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, Conrad, I think I'll give you back the chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what's next? I think it's geographic area 13. We skipped 12 because there are no candidates for 12, Western Wilton. Geographic area 13 is Wilshire Park, and that is John Gresham. John, have you joined us? Okay, not hearing from John, we will move on to geographic area 14, Windsor Square. Our first candidate alphabetically is Gary Gilbert. Gary, as soon as you're ready to start, we'll start our timers. And as this is Zoom, occasionally people do get knocked off or lose internet connectivity. So I'm going to call one more time. Gary, we can hear you as soon as you're ready.
I'm not sure my video is on, but if I am, my name is Gary Gilbert. I am been a resident of Windsor Square for 35 years. My wife, Judy, and I have raised 4 daughters here. I am currently the Windsor Square representative to the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council, where I not only represent homeowners, but also the center of our neighborhood, Larchmont Boulevard, working to make sure the street works for as many of our neighbors as possible. I'm also the chair of the Neighborhood Council's Resilience Committee, focusing on one of my community passions, which is earthquake preparedness, hi, Patty, where I can proudly announce today that finally, working in tandem with the Windsor Square Association, where I am a somewhat rebellious member, we are beginning to, in 2 weeks, a pilot program under the city's Ryland Ready Your LA Neighborhood banner to prepare Windsor Square for possible catastrophic events. This project will continue over the next few months, and I'm hoping the community will re-elect me to do this work for more and more for another 2 years. Full disclosure, I am somewhat addicted to pickleball, but I found a way to do both neighborhood work and pickleball, and I'm looking forward to years of both.
Next up, we have David Meister. And again, this is for Area 14, Windsor Square. David, are you with us?
I am.
David, we can hear you. It's a little loud. If you want to lower your volume, you can. Otherwise, just letting you know. And whenever you're ready.
Is that better?
Well, we can certainly hear you.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready to start.
Okay. Sorry if it's a little bit loud. I'll try to be as quiet as possible. I've been a resident of Windsor Square for about 7 months, so a little different from a lot of folks. Gary and I had lunch, and I think we agreed that I should probably be the alternate. So I'm running as an alternate as well as many of the others. I am a recovering attorney and recovering tech entrepreneur. I've been fortunate enough in my entrepreneurial endeavors to not be doing a ton right now, taking a little break. And so I felt this was a good opportunity given the time in my hands and new opportunity to live in Windsor Square to contribute. I think there's a lot of great issues that we can tackle together and collaborate on. And I'm just grateful to be a part of this meeting and learn from all of you. Thank you.
Next up, we have Geographic Area 15, Windsor Village. There are 3 candidates. Alphabetically, they begin with Julie Kim. Julie, are you with us this evening? And seeing no hands and hearing no voices, we'll move to Claire Ortiz. Claire, are you present? Okay, I heard some audio, but I think it was a different participant. So we will move to the 3rd candidate for that seat, Bianca Sparks Rojas. Bianca, are you with us?
I am. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can. Please
Great.
proceed.
Good evening. My name is Bianca Sparks Rojas, and I'm a homeowner here in Windsor Village. And I live here with my husband and my very vivacious 2.5-year-old son. As a mom, I believe that it's imperative that our representatives on our neighborhood council be strong advocates for infrastructure improvements. We've all seen our sidewalks, excuse me, in serious disrepair in our neighborhood. We also need to be advocates for public safety, especially at places like Harold Henry Park, where my son and many of the neighborhood kids play on a daily basis. I believe that I'm the best candidate for Windsor Village because of my experience in municipal law. I'm a municipal law attorney, and for more than 15 years, I've worked closely with city councils throughout Los Angeles County and across the state on matters including public safety, land use, homelessness, and infrastructure. I've been a proven problem solver for many other communities, and now I'd like to be one for my own. I understand how to work with council members and local government officials, and I'm also invested in raising my young family right here in Windsor Village, and I would appreciate your support.
Our next category, our next seat is the at-large seat, and we have 3 candidates. So alphabetically, we will start with Cindy Chavatal Keen. Cindy, are you with us? And I'll call again for Cindy. I know she was here, so maybe we have some internet issues. Cindy, can you hear me?
I can, and here I am.
Please proceed.
Okay, my name is Cindy Chavatal Keen, and I'm running for the at-large seat. Wait, I cannot, hold on.
And we can hear and see you, so.
Okay, good. I'm running for the at-large seat. I currently serve on the GWNC in the nonprofit seat. I chair the Transportation Committee, and I also serve as the president of the Hancock Park Homeowners Association. I've lived in the greater Wilshire area for the past 26 years with my husband, where we raised our 2 sons. I've been an activist and an active member of the GWNC community for over 20 years. Our NCs speak to the city government on behalf of all of our diverse neighborhoods and neighbors. I'm committed to listening to and giving voice to the issues and concerns of the neighbors and all the neighborhoods within the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council area. In another part of my life, I'm in the entertainment business as a television and film producer. I love working with people and organizing and making our voices heard and getting things done. So if you live, work, or own property in the Greater Wilshire area, I would really appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Next up, we have Lucy Pinkwater. And again, this is for the at-large seat. Lucy, are you with us? Okay, and not seeing any raised hands or hearing a voice, we'll move on. And I wonder if we have I think there may be a typo in the name here, but I'm going to read it as printed in the agenda. Diron Yanikian. But something tells me there may be a letter missing there. In any case, I think the individual knows who I'm calling on. So do we have any of the other at-large candidates present? Okay, hearing none, we will move on. Renters is the next category, and we have 5 candidates for the renter seat. And the first alphabetically is MJ Anderson. MJ, are you here?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Certainly. Hi, my name is MJ Anderson. I'm running for the renters representative in the Greater Wilshire area. I'm an IT person by trade, and I have years of experience in urban planning and public admin work, and I love cycling. I'm running for this seat because I want to live in an inclusive area, welcoming of change while also preserving neighborhood character. From living here, I know that times are hard, rent is high, but I firmly believe that through working with people and working with community members, that we can aim for a neighborhood where you can walk outside and look around and say, I am so glad I live here. And whether or not we reach that, if you elect me, I will be more reachable than at least a few of your landlords. Thank you. And as a follow-up, hola, soy Mario Anderson, soy un vecino de ustedes y con experiencia de urbanismo y obras comunitarias. Estoy compitiendo a un cargo público de representante de los inquilinos de Greater Wilshire y es mi esperanza que me elegirán para apoyar y oír cada voz en nuestra comunidad. Podemos mejorarla y estamos cerca de esto. Gracias por su apoyo y buen día. And I yield.
Next is Tommy Atley. And Tommy, whenever you are ready, please proceed.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tommy Atley. You may see my name as Tommy on your ballot due to a error in the filing, but a little about me. I am the current Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council Renters Representative. In addition, I serve on the Land Use Committee as the Secretary. I have served as the Renters Representative for just under 3 months now, so still sort of working my way into the position. But if you elect me to continue in this position, I would do my best to represent the wishes and interests of the renters in Hancock Park and the Greater Wilshire neighborhood as best as I can. Thank you for your time, and I cede the rest of my time.
Next, we have Lourdes Gomez. Lourdes, are you with us? And not hearing from Lourdes or seeing a raised hand, we will move to John Marchesini. John, are you present?
I am here.
John, and we can
Thank
hear you.
you.
We can't see you. Is that how you'd like it?
There we go.
Now we can see you. Okay, so whenever you are ready,
Hi.
please go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. So I wanted to say hello to the fellow residents of the Greater Wilshire neighborhood. My name is John Marchesini, and I'm running for the Los Angeles Neighborhood Council. As a resident of this community, I understand the importance of maintaining a safe and thriving neighborhood that we all can be proud of. If elected to the council, I promise to prioritize our community needs and concerns and work tirelessly to ensure that our voices are heard.
John, it seems like your video may have frozen. Can I get a nod from other members? It's not just me, right? Okay, I'm seeing some nods. So John, you were at about 35 seconds. So we'll just wait a minute and see if you reconnect. And otherwise, we can give you the rest of your time at a later time. Okay, it seems like the internet issue is going to persist. So let's come back to John if he's able to strengthen that connection. And I will apologize in advance to the next person in case John joins and there's a little bit of overlap. We'll try and navigate this to the best of our ability and technology. Anna Rose Verderame. Anna Rose, are you present?
Hi, I'm right here.
Hi,
Hi.
and I do apologize if I've mispronounced your name, but we can hear you and see you. So whenever you're ready to begin, please do.
No worries. I thought my computer was frozen too for a second. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Rose Verderame. I live in the borderline Windsor Park, Koreatown area, which is in obviously the greater Wilshire neighborhood. I have deep roots in my community. I've been advocating for my community ever since I moved here from the west side. I was on a different part of Koreatown for 2 years, and now I'm in like the Windsor Park area. I'm running as a renters representative to represent all renters because I feel like we are underrepresented in our local government, even though renters make up a large population. So I would love to advocate for you guys, listen to the things that you're experiencing, and hopefully I can be a voice. My background is I've been doing activism and advocating for disenfranchised communities my whole life. Started as a Girl Scout, and then in high school, I did a lot of community service with RIASAP of AmeriCorps. Excuse my dog, sorry. And lastly, because I'm gonna have to hold my time because I have a puppy, again, I'm here. I would love to make sure that our rent hopefully doesn't continue to be inflated. So I yield my time.
And I would like to ask if John Marcassini has rejoined us, maybe with a better internet connection. Though we don't always know how good our internet connection is going to be, do we? Okay, so let's move on to another category. We did hear from the business candidates earlier this evening, so we will move on to education. I was told that Scott Apple is unable to join us, but I will ask anyway. Scott, are you with us? Okay, Scott is not present, so let's move on to the religion seat. There are 3 candidates, and John Halbert is the first candidate. John, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
All right, we can hear you, so whenever you're ready, please start.
Hi, I'm John Halbert. I am running for the religion seat on the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. I am a member of Hope Lutheran Church on Melrose. I've been a member for about 20 years. If you're not familiar, Hope is on Melrose between La Brea and Highland. I'm currently serving as the president of the church council, which I've been before. I've been on the church council for many years. And I'm running because I think Hope has a lot to offer the Greater Wilshire neighborhood area. We have a number of renters from the area. We have a number of community groups that meet here. We've hosted events for the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. We have a close relationship with the Melrose Bid, and we have a lot of resources that we can offer to the community. And I think I would be a good person to facilitate that relationship. I have relationships with the larger Lutheran Church throughout Southern California and California itself, and I've been very active in politics at the local and state level, volunteering for a bunch of candidates, and I thank you for your support.
And thank you. Next, we have Susanna Kim, again for the religion seat. Susanna, are you present? And I'll call once more for Susanna. Okay, not seeing Susanna or seeing any raised hands. We will go to Benjamin Rosenberg. Benny, I believe you are here.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Conrad, and thank you all for being here and all working together. I'm very excited to run for re-election on the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. I am for the religion seat. I'm currently the synagogue president over at Yavneh Hebrew Academy and the synagogue on the same campus of the school. And I've really enjoy being a part of the community, being a part of the synagogue and also I serve as the school liaison to the Hancock Park Homeowners Association as well. And my office, I'm a commercial real estate broker by background and have an investment firm. My office is my office is here in Windsor Square. So, and I grew up, I was raised in this neighborhood. And now my wife and 5 children and our pet dog also live here and raising my kids here. So I have a unique vested interest as somebody who grew up here and raising my own family here, vested interest to continue to ensure that our Greater Wilshire neighborhood continues to thrive and be beautiful and be safe for the betterment of all of us, that we all live, work, and play and recreational wise are in a beautiful neighborhood for many, many years to come. And I'm excited to volunteer along with everybody here. Thank you.
In our agenda, we have one more category, but remember, we are going to go back to area 10 due to a technology issue. So don't hang up just yet. So the next category is other nonprofit, and alphabetically, Mark Alpers is first. Mark, are you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed when you're ready.
Great. I'm Mark Alpers. I'm running for the other nonprofit representative seat on the GWNC. My wife and I have been residents of Hancock Park for more than 18 years. I'm on the board of directors of the Hancock Park Homeowners Association and the chairman of their land use committee. I was recently appointed by Councilmember Yaroslavsky to the Park Mile Design Review Board. Over the past couple of years, I've participated in a couple of the GWNC land use meetings as they've considered developments initiated in or the proposed in Hancock Park, and also work with a coalition of people from Larchmont, Windsor Square, and the South Hollywood Neighborhood Association, and where we were successful in scaling back a proposed office development at Melrose and Seward. I retired about 5 years ago after about a 30-year career in urban and environmental planning. Charles Diatri talked a little bit earlier about the beast of the city government downtown. I sort of made a career of dealing with that beast and a lot of other municipal and state level beasts, bureaucracies over my entire career. I work for public and private sector clients, and obviously that also involves a lot of interaction with elected officials, their staff, and every planning and public works type and other public agencies. It'd be an honor to serve on the GWNC board. I think my background would be an asset as it relates to issues that I think will be considered in the near future, including newly proposed development projects. The city's proposed housing element revisions, transportation infrastructure, other environmental issues.
That's your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, for the other nonprofit seat, we have Brian Curran, and then we're going to go back to area 10. Brian, are you with us? Okay, it appears Brian is not. So let's go to Patricia Carroll, Patty Carroll, geographic area 10, Ridgewood, Wilton, St. Andrews Square, and then we'll call for anyone who joined late who would like to make a candidate statement. Patty, can we see if your video works this time? Hi.
It is working.
There you go.
Hi, I'm Patty Carroll, Patricia Carroll. It was love at first sight on St. Andrews Square. St. Andrews Square and Ridgewood Wilton have been my neighborhoods longer than I can remember. I've been privileged and delighted to represent these two wonderful and eclectic neighborhoods on the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. My parents' first home was here. My grandparents, aunts, and uncles have lived here. I care very much about these neighborhoods, and as the representative for Area 10 on the GWNC, have done what I can to protect and enrich them. There have been many changes in SASNA, St. Andrews Square, over the years, from a neighborhood of craftsman bungalows to larger multifamily buildings, and with the recent TOC incentives in place, our neighborhood has been impacted more than some. Ridgewood Wilton has a more stable footprint. They're more protected, and we've often said that St. Andrews Square has always been the buffer to Ridgewood Wilton. I'm on the board of St. Andrews Square Neighborhood Association. I'm in contact with my Ridgewood Wilton neighbors. Within the GWNC, I'm treasurer and on the land use and outreach committees. I'm also on the board of the Anderson Munger YMCA, which services our neighborhood. And I'm on the board of the Larchmont Boulevard Association. I believe in preservation and community, which is something we need more now, more than ever, as our neighborhoods and cities expand. C'est moi.
All right, so we have now heard from all of the candidates that we knew to be present in the order of the agenda, with the exception of business, which we allowed to go first. Do we have any candidates who joined late who would like to give an up to 2-minute presentation? Please raise your Zoom hand right now if that is the case. And if you're calling in from a phone, that's *9. And it doesn't look like it. I'll give it just another couple seconds. Okay, so it looks like that's it for the candidates. So, I want to thank all of the candidates for coming out tonight. And again, we will make this resource available on our website within the next 24 hours. I want to provide a little bit of explanation. You've heard people expressing that they wish to run as an alternate. I want to encourage everyone at least vote for yourself, because if you get 0 votes, you don't get any kind of seat. You need at least 1 vote to get either the board seat or the alternate seat, even if you're running unopposed. Now, for those races that are competitive, that have more than 2 candidates, as Jen DeVore mentioned, the top vote getter gets the representative seat. The second vote getter is offered the alternate seat. If they decline, it goes to the next vote getter. But as you've seen, there are many seats that do not have 2 candidates. There's 1 seat that has 0 candidates. So we will appoint. We have the option as a board of appointing people to those seats. It will be in the new board term. The new board term will commence with the first board meeting in July. So that'll be the second Wednesday of the month. And that's also when we elect our officers and other leadership positions, such as committee chairs, et cetera. So, and I want to express too, we've heard from some candidates who might be running for 1 seat, but they would be eligible for another seat, and there may be a vacancy available that they can fill. So if you don't get what you were hoping for, you may still be able to be seated by appointment. So please leave that opportunity open to yourself. We want to ensure that we have as diverse and active a board as possible. And frankly, we also want to ensure that we can reach quorum. We need 13 board members in order to take action. And if 1 is not present, that's when we call the alternate in, and we encourage communication between the alternates and the board member to ensure that we don't have any gaps. I want to thank our audience for coming tonight. I'm sorry that we're not able to offer you the opportunity to ask questions, but hopefully this has been a good way to get to know the candidates. And then let's just remind everyone how this whole election works. For the first time, this is an either-or election. Either you can vote by mail or you can vote in person. And as I understand it, if you decide you want to vote by mail, and then you change your mind, there is a way to fill out a provisional ballot. So when is the election? It's April 30th. Jen, if I say anything wrong, jump in, please. It's April 30th at the Barking Lot. That's parking with a B. The Barking Lot. That's on Larchmont Boulevard. You can find out all the details at greaterwilshire.org/election. It will take you to that web page. I believe it's from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 p.m. That's for in-person elections. Right now, you can request a ballot from the city if you do wish to vote by mail. And to all the candidates, please let your neighbors know that this is how they can vote. Now, it's on me to get you all flyers to be able to spread throughout your neighborhoods. It's a little hard to keep up with everything, so we don't have that flyer yet, but Jen will let you know when that's available. We'll have plenty for you to use to let your neighbors know how to vote. And Jen, is there anything that you would want to be covered that I didn't cover just then?
No, just to talk to your friends and try and get the vote out. You know, the neighborhood council elections in general are not very well voted. And it would be great to have more people participating in this process, which is pretty easy to access. You can get a vote by mail ballot and you can go vote in person, and please encourage anyone you know to vote.
And you don't have to wait to get involved to come to our committee meetings. We are moving to in-person after the 29th of this month. That's the last day that we can legally meet virtually until state law changes to allow that. So it's going to be all in person. Information will be on our website. We have our locations, but please check the website and read our agendas. You can sign up for our agendas via email. Go to greaterwilshire.org. There's a little box. You can join our MailChimp list, and it's quite easy, and we do not spam you with a bunch of stuff. So I think that's about it. I do see a hand raised, and while I in general want to discourage any back and forth, if it's a clarification question, I think we'll allow it with no objection. So Mr. Romy Courtier, your hand is raised. Do you have a question?
Yes, about how you get other businesses to vote for the business representatives.
So I'd rather that we not go into that right now in this meeting, because there are quite a few rules that are both our bylaws rules and then also the City of Los Angeles City Clerk rules. So I think that could probably take a while to be clear about that. So feel free to reach out to president@greaterwilshire.org or to our election committee chair secretary at greaterwilshire.org, Jen DeVore, and we can point you to those answers. And I would pass that along to any other candidates or members of the community. And I do see another raised hand. We didn't anticipate the Q&A, but we'll take let's say one more question after Anna Rose if another hand goes up. Anna Rose, what's your question?
Hi, thanks for taking my question. I was just wondering, so that I can get the word out and then also request a ballot for myself. In the past, because of the pandemic, ballots have just been mailed to everybody. Where would we go request a ballot for that?
Okay, and I didn't see any other hands raised, so we're going to cut it off after this. So the answer to the question is no ballot is automatically mailed to anybody. You have to ask for it if you want to vote by mail ballot. And we have all the instructions at greaterwilshire.org/election. It should also be on our homepage, or you can find it at the Greater Wilshire website. You can also go to empowerla.org. I believe it's /election, or to the city clerk website, and they all have information on how to accomplish that if you want to make sure that we're giving you the correct information. But again, there is no automatic ballots. This isn't the same as your municipal elections or your government or your state or federal elections. However, it is administered by the city clerk. So this is not something that Greater Wilshire is self-administering. In fact, candidates are not allowed to participate in the administration of the election. I see that Jen maybe is going to provide some more clarifying comments. Jen.
Yeah, I just wanted to basically underline what you just said. You just need to go to the city clerk website and you can request a ballot there. And since you are all candidates, you already have Angelino accounts, which is sort of the only impediment to figuring out how navigating the system. So it's relatively easy once you have an Angelino account to request your ballot. But all the information is on our website. It's also on the city clerk website.
And please, again, send us your questions. If you send them to secretary@greaterwilshire.org. Sorry, Jen, that will go straight to our election chair, and she knows where to point you to. And just, remember, voting by mail tends to be thought of as easier. You may find that that's a little more burdensome because you have to upload documents to demonstrate your eligibility. Voting in person sometimes seems a little more challenging, but in this case, it might actually be a more painless process. The one catch is you are going to be entitled, most of us are going to be entitled to vote for more than one seat. And you can find out about that on our election page. It's generally your geographic area, certainly if you're a resident, and then one of the at-large, either the at-large or another special interest seat, depending on whether you're eligible. And you do need to bring proof of eligibility. So we can go into that. We can point you in the right direction. And you can also find those resources via our website. So I think that just about does it. I'll give one last call in case there are any candidates who just joined us and are needing to give us their statement. Okay, and so again, that was it for tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Please get the word out. We look forward to seeing you in person. And we do have one more meeting that's going to be announced in the next 12 15 hours. We have a special meeting on that last date, March 29th, so we can get some business done before we go back to in person. So if you like this, you can get some more of it on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and that agenda will go out shortly. Thank you so much, everybody. The meeting of the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council is now adjourned at 7:09 p.m.
Thank you.